Hi and welcome to the first in a series of tutorials about verse literature in Latin. I hope these tutorials will be useful for anyone studying A-level Latin or anyone with an interest in Ovid's poetry and Latin literature in general. Each video will have a particular focus, and in this lesson we'll be looking at an alternative ending for the perfect tense. This is relatively common in prose and verse literature, so it's a useful thing to learn. So without further ado, let's get started. We'll be looking at this extract today from Book 2 of Ovid's Fasti. The extract tells the story of a famous singer called Arion. But before we get into the Latin, let's do a bit of background work on the Fasti itself and Arion's story. The Fasti is a 6-book Latin poem written by the Roman poet Ovid and published in AD 8. It explains the origins of Roman holidays, traditions and associated customs. Each book covers 1 month, from January through to June of the Roman calendar. The extract we're looking at today comes from Book 2, so we'll be looking at the month of February. But what about Arion? Well, Arion was a famous singer and lyre player. In this extract, Arion has just participated in a musical competition in Sicily, which he has won. On his return trip, greedy sailors plot to kill Arion and steal the rich prizes he is carrying home. Arion is given the choice of suicide with a proper burial on land or being thrown in the sea to perish. He asks for permission to sing one last song to buy him time. Playing his kithara, Arion sings a song praising Apollo, the god of poetry, and his song attracts a number of dolphins around the ship. At the end of the song, Arion throws himself into the sea rather than be killed, but one of the dolphins saves his life and carries him to safety. This mythological connection between Arion and the dolphin led to the naming of the constellation Delphinus, which represents a dolphin leaping out of the sea. The Delphinus constellation would no longer be visible on the 3rd of February. Let's turn our attention to the extract now. To illustrate the power of Arion's voice, Ovid focuses on its effect on the natural world. In this elegiac couplet, we see the wolf, the natural predator of the lamb, stopped in his tracks at the sound of Arion's voice. The lamb too has stopped running away from the wolf because Arion's singing is so beguiling. Here's the translation. Often, the wolf seeking a lamb was halted by his voice. Often, the lamb stopped in fleeing the ravening wolf. Note the repetition of Saipe. In the next line of the extract, dogs and hares share the same space. Another unusual example of predator and prey coexisting in harmony. Note the unusual form of yacoere. This is an alternative form of the third person plural of the perfect tense. We would expect to see yacoerent here. In the final line of the extract, we see a deer, or cerva, stood, stetit, next to a lioness, again highlighting how Arion's voice can disrupt the natural order of things. So what have you learned? The alternative form of the perfect tense ends in ere and is common in verse literature. Watch out for it and avoid mistaking it for the infinitive, which has the same ending. Knowing your principal parts and perfect stems will help you here. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and that you learned something. Leave some comments below for suggestions on how to improve and hit the like button to help me grow the channel. Thanks again.